Hello world, I'm Mandy Mundo and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For this trip we are in the small country of Luxembourg. It's just a quick weekend trip, so not gonna do much, just gonna hang out and see what Luxembourg has to offer. I hope you enjoy! We're staying in the town of Vianden, which has a castle at the top of the hill, so we're gonna go and check out. There's an actual chairlift to go up it, which is over yonder. But it's a cute little town, very small, very quaint, and it sits on a river, so it's pretty nice. There it is! There's the river. The chairlift is going very slow. We're the only ones on it. We have the whole thing to ourselves. Don't rock the boat, chair. So there's a hiking trail off the chairlift that I think takes you to the chateau, but it's a lot of switchbacks and really steep. Definitely not wearing the proper shoes for this, but I don't think we're going to hike back up it to get back up to the chairlift, because it's all the way up there. So we'll probably walk back from the chateau back to our hotel. So just for all of you out there, get a one-way chairlift ticket, not a two-way, if you are planning on going to the chateau. Unless you want to hike back all this craziness. There's also a little motorized train, truck train thing. I can take you up here if you want. Did you get the top of it too? It was €10 a piece to get in, so I didn't pay extra for the audio guide tour, but they give you this little leaflet so you can follow around and see which room that you're in. And it's kind of dark in there, but it looks something like this. They even had an ancient kitchen. Oh my gosh. But you get to see the view of the city. The castle was built between the 11th and 14th centuries, but then in the 1800s it was sold off little by little, and then it fell into disrepair. But in the 1900s it was reclaimed by the government and restored into what we see today. See, it used to just be a fort, and then in the 11th century started building, and so on and so forth. Oh, it got really big there. And then fell into destruction before it was rebuilt. And that's how it is today. Chef's room. And this is the main kitchen. Awesome. Our next stop in Luxembourg was the General Patton Museum in Edelbrock. And it was a pretty small museum, and from what I gathered from it, it was mostly about Edelbrock and Luxembourg's involvement in the war. But it still had some stuff about General Patton in there too.
And then one of Jeremy's favorite parts was looking at all the relics. So a lot of this stuff they found just by digging up in the local area, and sometimes decades later they would find this stuff. So it's just insane how much debris and different war relics were sprinkled throughout the country, and not just Luxembourg, other places too.
So this engine says it's a Wright Cyclone 1820, which is the same engine that is on the B-17. However, Jeremy just pointed out that it is not an 1820. The data plate actually says R2600. Right. Oh, there. Or 2500. 2600. Uh-oh. The museum got it wrong. Alright, Jeremy found the airplane parts room. He's very excited. And he says that yes, this one is correct. B-17, 1820 parts. And then over here, we have a picture of Jeremy's airplane. It was the All-American. Now it's the Witchcraft. The B-24.
After the museum, we went to the American Military Cemetery, which is by Luxembourg City, and this is actually where General Patton is buried. And it was a gloomy day while we were there, but the cemetery is very well kept. And while we were there, this happened. At the entrance to the cemetery is the Visitor Information Center, so if you had any questions or wanted to learn more, like I learned that there are 22 pairs of brothers in the cemetery. And then sprinkled throughout, you will see these Stars of David headstones. So these rocks on the headstones, it symbolizes back when people would put notes on there and then weigh down the note with a rock. And over time, the paper from the note would wither away, but the rock would still remain. So now it's just a symbol and a gesture to put a rock on a Star of David headstone. So that was our weekend trip to Luxembourg. So very short. And then my next video that I will be posting will be about our trip to Mallorca, Spain. So stay tuned for that one.